I talk about this, about tribe, but that is the truth. I don't know why you feel shy.
Yeah, and when does it go against this? Is the way this conversations are shaping up, is contrary to the spirit.
And what is the spirit of BBI?
Unity.
Unity of leadership or unity of tribes? So you can have a go.
So it appears that both Raila Odinga and William Ruto reported to Kenya.
Yes.
We had Raila Odinga the other day when he was in Noro and he said sacrificed he and his father who sacrificed their political ambitions for the retired Moi Kibaki respectively. And therefore, perhaps a political debt is owed to him by Mount Kenya. Ruto's allies, especially from Central.
Thank you, Olive. I think whenever these questions are posed, I always advise people that never answer these kind of questions without first contextualizing the politics of this country. But go further step back and go into the historiography of the political evolution in this country. Because if you just answer that question from the top of your head, then you miss the point. Olive, history must remain our teacher all the time. Because history is what is responsible for who you are as a person. History is responsible for who we are as a nation. And history is responsible for how we are conducting our politics today. Olive, in the 1960s, when we attained independence, there was a great fear among the minority tribes that the larger communities, specifically the Agikuyu and the Luo, would dominate the smaller tribes. And it is because of this fear of domination of the larger groups against the smaller groups that the Kenya African Democratic Union was formed, led by Ronald Ngala, Arap Moi, and the others. Olive, this fear is as genuine and as palpable as it was then, it is today. The difference is that we have tried to cloth with different words. We call it tyranny of numbers. We call it all other names. But the truth of the matter is that we as a people are in denial. The beginning point must be that we must understand we are a nation of 47 tribes. I think 48 now when you add the Asians. And every conversation in this country must revolve among the 47 tribes. Don't tell me about Kenya, because the Kenyan dream is dead. The dream that was envisaged at the birth of independence is dead. Olive, it is so dead that we can no longer talk about Kenyanhood today, truthfully. Let me give you an example. The term tyranny of numbers, as coined by Professor Mutahi Ngunyi, simply means that one tribe which has the majority of numbers and which happens to have resources to rope in other gullible tribes can then have their way and their say in who becomes the next president, and therefore by extension who distributes and allocates resources. It's as plain as that. So tyranny means rule without recourse to democracy. And so when you talk about tyranny of numbers, simply call it that the rule of a few without a care of how the rest of the communities are faring. And for that reason, when you see Honorable Raila Odinga make forays into Mount Kenya, predominantly Agikuyu and their few affiliates, the reason is simple, that for the first time in 59 years of independence, next year, when we go into elections, Kenya will be 59 years of independence. In 59 years of independence, the Agikuyu as a community have been in power, either as president or deputy president, for 58 years. The only miss is 1 year when Daniel Arap Moi chose not to have a deputy president or vice president. The Kalenjin community have been in power either as president or as vice president for 46 years. The Kamba have been there for 5 years, Kalonzo's time. The Luyas, 5 or thereabout. These are only 4 communities out of 47. And so when you see Honorable Raila Odinga gravitating towards Mount Kenya and bending over backwards to refer to Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta as my brother, despite the ugly revelations by Honorable Songo of how Honorable Uhuru's system dealt with Raila, it's because for the first time since independence, for the 59 years, the Agikuyu community does not have a front runner for the seat of presidency. For the first time. There is no obvious successor from Mount Kenya. And so, Mount Kenya for the first time feels open and up for grabs. Unfortunately, for those who may not love William Ruto, from 2013, when they formed government for the first time, the son of Sugoi embarked on campaigns. And he made sure that he did the heavy lifting when the prince was relaxing in State House. So much so that when anything needed to be fixed by the prince's own Agikuyu people, William Ruto fixed it. Fast forward to 2017, and William Ruto has more or less stabilized his ship towards succeeding Uhuru Kenyatta. Then what happens? The people of Mount Kenya do what they're reputed for doing. Stepping on other people's shoulders to get it, and after that, reneging on their promise. Honorable Kibaki did it for Raila. Uhuru Kenyatta is doing it against William Ruto. And so come 2017, the BBI was crafted as an exit valve for Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta and the Mount Kenya to exit the Kumi Kumi covenant. The reason why Mount Kenya would excite both Honorable Raila Odinga and William Ruto is because Mount Kenya has taken off with William Ruto. The touts, the sons of the former freedom fighters, not the sons of home guards, the borders, the bourgeoisie of the Gikuyu community have taken off with William Ruto. And so the bending over backward by Raila Odinga into Central is purely on that ground, that he stands a chance of inheriting Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto stands a chance of inheriting Uhuru Kenyatta, and many others, Musalia Mudavadi, and whoever else may want to run. So the tyranny of numbers must be unmasked. Call it the domination of a community against other communities. They're the biggest. If they have resources, they can have it all the time. That is what the tyranny of numbers means, in my honest view.